Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. Another live show. Actually, well, you lot know what it is now. I'm not going to lie. You've been following the content. Big up the guys that come over from Saeed TV. Make sure you do subscribe if you're new. Make sure you smash a like. But I only do live shows with obviously Roms. And if you guys know Roms is a GOAT. You know what I'm saying? He's my GOAT as well. So, he's on Saeed TV. He's on Big Six Pants, Football Verbal. But he's one of my brothers as well. So, guys, make sure you do smash a like. Make sure you subscribe. But yeah, the only live shows I do are actually with Rom. So we're back after a few weeks break now. A lot's happened in the football world. But the Champions League returns. So we're going to be talking about it, diving into the games, but also just looking at the Champions League in general and like not early predictions on, but kind of like who we think will do well, like who we think is going to win it. Players, you know what I mean? The transfer market of these European teams. Us guys, watch our European teams. But yeah, man, we saying, bro, first of all, you bless?
Yeah, man. Like, first of all, big up, Ty. You don't already know. You see, sometimes you'll get channels that will just try and like force the content out. We said, international break. Let's come back when the Prem comes back or whatnot.
Yeah.
You knew the Champions League, we back. Let's just cram kind of both of them together. But I'm good, bro. I'm good. Can't lie. These Champions League. Normally like game week 1, there's a clear favorite in the majority of the games. Yeah. I actually go as far to say this game week might be the most balanced. Like, there's a lot of 50-50 or like 60-40. But no, I'm good, bro. I hope you're well as well.
You know what I've kind of that in my head. I've already thought about like what can we talk about? So we've got an hour until Arsenal play. So I'm like, we're gonna start with Arsenal though. But then we're gonna talk about obviously Spurs are back in the Champions League. Obviously, it's good for them. London club, great stadium. And then I do want to touch on some of them like European games we're talking about because like I'm not gonna lie, like I feel like when me and you watch ball and look, I'm not trying to blow our own trumpet, but we do follow the European teams. We know what's going on, like to enough that we can jump on a pod and talk about them. A lot of people just watch the Prem and like it might be just the Prem only, but there are games like Juve, Dortmund, as an example, that I want to talk about on this show because I feel like I can with you. Do you get what I'm saying?
Facts.
You know what I mean? So yeah, guys, make sure you do run up the likes. Big up Tim Shipman. I love that name for some reason. I don't know why. It sounds like he should be a tennis player or something.
What?
Or
like a golfer.
Yeah, like a golfer. You know what I'm saying? I big up Shipman, man.
That's a cool name. Big up Shipman.
Yeah, big up. Newcastle Barca. Yeah, definitely a cracker. And I love it as well because you gave me the reason. I was confused. I said, like, why is there games 3 days? And you said, obviously, match week 1, they spread it over Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Which I wish you'd done that every week,
Yeah, it's a nice spread. But do you know what, Ty? They only done it since this format. So last year they done it, and everyone thought, "Is this going to be a weekly thing?" But it was only, I don't know why, but it was only for the Thursday, but for match day 1. But like I thought this format they might do it till game week 8 or whatnot. But no, it's only for game week 1.
I kind of like it after the weekend we've had in that. It just prolongs the week nicely. Then all of a sudden, Prem is back, and then we go again.
Quickly, Ty, quick opening question, yeah. I know I could do the trolling thing, or who you got in Europe, knowing that you don't have anyone. But we're going to be objective, yeah. As a neutral, that you don't have an affinity to any. Actually, I know you like your Barca's and PSG. They're the
I like my PSG. Yeah,
literally. But if you had to pick out of the, how many games are there? 18.
I think 18 games, isn't it? Yeah.
No, but in total 18. What's your standout out of the pick? Like, what's your standout game out of the 18?
What this week?
Yeah,
I can't lie. As a neutral, like I really do like. There's 2, so I really like Newcastle Barca, but I feel like a lot of people will pick that because Newcastle, the atmosphere at St James's and whatnot. But do you know what game I'm really intrigued by? Because I think anything.
I bet we have the same one.
Mine's Ajax Inter Milan.
Fair. See, mine's Chelsea Bayern, but that's still that's an interesting game.
But from because Inter for me should be going there with the experience and winning. But you know when it's Europe and Ajax with this young team, could it be a 2-2 or something? Do you know what I mean?
And so they're at home.
They're at home. So that way is interesting. But yeah, Bayern Chelsea is a cracking game. We're going to dive into it. Let's dive into it. Guys, make sure you round up the likes. Make sure you subscribe if you're new on the way to 5K. We are going to try and be back now every Tuesday as well. Unless one of us can't make it. But you know what I'm saying. Life is life. But hopefully we can be. But yeah, man, let's start with Arsenal because if people haven't seen it already, playing the Bilbao away tonight. Oh, perfect. Look at that. Fits on the screen amazingly. We've got Raya, Timber, Mosquera, Gabriel. Wait. He's gone big strong.
So I'm saying, bro.
I was on sports mode and they done some random like Martinelli, Marino, like as in obviously Marino's playing, but like Hincampe, Lewis Skelly, bro, he's gone strong.
Bro, that's arguably other than Saliba and Saka, some would argue Odegaard. That's their strongest team, bro.
Yeah.
If you look at this team, yeah,
Raw.
Saka comes in for Madueke, Odegaard probably comes in for Marino, and
Marino
Saliba comes in for
comes in for Mosquera.
Mascara. Other than that, they're only missing 3 out of their starters. These gone very strong. Do you think, yeah, Arteta, I'm not going to say disrespecting Man City, but he's kind of thinking, I've got enough depth now. I can still big up Tyro Gunner every time. I've got enough depth now. I can rotate, and I still trust the team to get the job done on Sunday.
Because
you know what I mean?
I thought, look, being honest, I'm glad we're kind of just freestyling. So look, I finished work, we just jumped on. I didn't realize he was going to go this strong.
Same.
Like, I was looking in the other thing we do. I was looking to leave it. I wasn't looking to touch it. Yeah, what I'm saying. I wasn't looking to touch this game. But now when I look at this team, like he's going strong. He's looking to build up consistency, a winning rhythm. You know, he's got players that are hungry. Like Gyökeres wants to impress in Europe. Eze definitely does. This is his dream. Eze wants to play in the Champions League. He's living a dream. And you know what? Yeah, one thing I will say, Roms, is Mosquera is the bargain of the summer for 13 million. This guy is class. Like, I watched my European football. I had not watched him. I didn't watch Valencia much. Bro, he's good on the ball. He made that recovery tackle he made the other day when they could have conceded. Brilliant. Like, this guy is like, look, I'm not gunning Saliba, by the way, but you know when Saliba's out, you're thinking, raw, Saliba's out. Already, he's kind of made Arsenal fans feel like, okay, Saliba's out another few weeks.
But we're not really missing him.
You're not really missing him.
Because do you remember that 22-23 season, Saliba's out. Oh, Holding comes in and then they start losing game. Now they have Mascara, because of his performances, he's restored that calmness. That Saliba's out. You know what, Mascara will come in and still put in a solid performance. Do you know when I knew he was cold? Yeah, I don't believe in sample size. I think some players you just know. But when he gets introduced to the hardest away ground, I'm not just saying this because I'm a Liverpool fan, but Mourinho spoke about Fergie, Pep, Wenger. They all say Anfield's a nightmare. For him to come into that magnitude of game and look, the free kick ain't on him. Like, that was just a moment of brilliance.
Yeah,
he came in and done his thing. He was breaking lines. He was winning the ball back. That's when I said I didn't really even need to see the Forest game. I was like, Mascara looks cold.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things in the title is Arsenal's best squad in the UCL. UCL might be a stretch, or maybe I need to still think of the other teams, but they definitely got the best squad in the Prem. I think there's teams that have better 11s than Arsenal. So I think Barca's 11 up. Maybe their defense sets them down. I'd say PSG and Liverpool. I still think we got a better 11, but I think they got a better squad. You know what I mean? Arsenal got one of the strongest squads in the league. No, the strongest squad in the league for me, and one of in the Champions League. But do you know what? I feel like I'm only saying one of because I can't remember player for player for all the other teams.
This is what I think of. Like, now they've shown that they're going to play their strongest 11 tonight at the moment of availability and stuff. Saka, Odegaard. Someone said Ethan should be in the 10. I don't think away at Bilbao you're going to play him in the 10 personally. Marino's obviously Spanish, and Zubimendi. They're used to the atmosphere. They're used to the climate. So them things play a part. But big up Tyro. But I look at this team and I think Barcelona have got a very good 11, but then their bench is okay for like 3 or 4 players, but then it's short. Liverpool, very good 11, bench then falls short a bit. I look at Bayern Munich, they've got a good 11, but then their bench is okay. PSG, good 11, but then they've got Barcola that can come off the bench, and they've got a couple players, but then all of a sudden it's like them youngers like Mbaye and all these guys at 17. I look at Arsenal's squad, and even over Real Madrid, bro, I'm not saying that it means they're going to win it, but I think Arsenal have got the best squad in the league, but not the best 11. I think Liverpool have just got the best 11 because the Isak signing. But if people said Arsenal, cool, I hear it. However, when it comes to squad, they have got the best squad in Europe for me because, you know, when you look at the nitty-gritty of February, March, April, when they're going to be trying to compete with you guys for the league and then playing in the Champions League, they're the type of team that can make 3 or 4 changes and the squad quality of the 11 is still high. I actually don't know who's got a better squad than Arsenal in the Champions League. And I'm just doing it off the cuff. Someone, if there's like you guys are watching, let me know in the comments who's got a better squad than Arsenal. Because
do you know what, Ty? You're right. When I deep it, the only reason I said one of is because I know a lot of the other European teams 11s, but I don't really know their bench like that. That's why I said one of them. If I had to go off the cuff as well, you'd probably have to say they got the best squad in Champions League.
You look at their defense, right? White and Timber, right back. White was cold 2 years ago. People said best right back in the league at some shout. England and that. White and Timber. Centre back, you've got Mosquera now, Gabriel, Saliba, and you've got Hincampi that can play there, Calafiori that can play there. And then at left back, you've then got Lewis Skelly, Calafiori, now Hincapie that can play there. So the defense is cold, it's covered. Then in midfield, obviously you've got Zibbermendy, Rice can play there, but Zibbermendy's better. Then you've got Marino, Rice, you've got Odegaard, you've got Naneri. I'm trying to think who else they're missing. Norgard, so like a bit of depth there, physicality. Then obviously in the attack, you've got Madueke now, he's coming and obviously shut them fans up that signed the petition. You've got Madueke, Saka, you've got Eze, Martinelli, Trossard, you've got Eze, then you've got Odegaard, Eze that can play in the 10. Then up front, obviously you've got Gabriel Jesus when he's back, you've got Havertz, and you've got Gyökeres. Bro, they've got 3 man in literally every position, and 3 man that are all good enough in their own right to be in squads in the Champions League. Don't have to be starters. Some of them start, some of them are in the squads. But bro, like I'm looking at it and thinking, when it gets to nitty gritty, this Arsenal team are going to be capable of challenging on both fronts. And I think that's if that's a Liverpool versus Arsenal thing, I think that's your Achilles heel, that you might have to sort of prioritize a little bit of which trophy you want to go for, defend your title or win the Champions League. But you haven't got the depth like that to do what Arsenal can do.
You see how you basically just named 2 11s there, yeah?
Yeah.
If you now name ours, Mamadashvili and Alisson in goal, you've got Frimpong, which yes, he won the penalty and whatnot. The jury's still out for me personally. And this ain't just because he's come to my club. I'll support him because it's Liverpool shirt, but I weren't convinced in the Labour because it's an Celtic team. So you've got Frimpong and Conor Bradley. Conor Bradley injury issues, availability. He's 23, 24, and you've had 2 hamstring injuries already. It is a bit concerning. And then you've got Van Dijk, Leone, Konate, and Gomez. I think that's a strong 4, but the only reason why it's strong. The reason why I think it's strong, but the reason why they're good on their day, but you've got an unknown entity in Leone, and you've got 2 injury-prone centre backs.
Yeah,
Konate's availability's got better, to be fair, the last couple of seasons.
And Gomez, when Gomez coming against Arsenal, he's good cameo, but consistency, you don't know if you're going to get that.
Exactly. And then left back, Kirkes and Robertson. I feel like Kirkes needs to settle. He's a bit rash. I do think a sending off is incoming. I have to be honest, because unless someone puts their arm around him and says, look, just chill out. But I think Robbo, as the experienced head, won't play much. But then when you look at our midfield, right, I know Szoboszlai hasn't playing right back, but Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, McAllister, Endo, Jones, and Anoni. You look at Arsenal, look at ours, it's like, again, I think our starters are better, but our bench, I'm not filled with too much confidence. And then our front, this is when you said this from the start of the summer. Gakpo, very predictable. Yes, he pops up with the important goal. Rio, I want to unleash Rio, but again, to spearhead us and be our starting left winger to a league, it remains to be seen. It might be a bit too much pressure on him. Then our 2 nines, I think we're strong. Isaac and Ekitike and Chiesa, because Chiesa's being brought on. You've seen now the Arsenal game, and you've seen Bournemouth game. You've seen a Burnley game. He's in the 9. Once Isaac comes in, he probably go back.
Yeah, exactly.
But then right wing is where we don't really have backup like that. After Salah, it might have to be Frimpong makeshift that goes it, because he can play wing. But
Elliot went
right. Look at our second. Yeah. If you do first 11 to first 11, I think we match them in every department. Yeah. But then if you go their second 11 to our second 11, it's night and day for me. That's 100%. Where.
And when it gets to the nitty gritty, the cold winters, the injuries, the muscular injuries, the 2 games a week, we know that no matter what we think, injuries are going to happen. You know, you're going to be stretched at some points, and that is where Arsenal might, unfortunately for me, is why they're actually my favourites for the league. And it sounds mad. I've never said it in my life. But Arsenal are my favourites for the league.
We entire brothers. We speak every day. That's even the first I've heard him say. Yeah. I didn't know there was. I
decided. I've just been thinking about it, and and I'm like, do you know what? When it gets to February, March, April, who are going to be able to capitalise and get the most points?
Maybe this might be the Liverpool fan in me, but if they had a Zidane and Enrique, just a proven manager, I think they've got the squad and the personnel. They're capable, brilliant. I think their manager lets them down. Honestly, I just feel like in a high stake game, because look, we're looking at Arsenal under pressure now. Like Arsenal, there's pressure for them to win the league, but like all Champions
even League games like tonight. No offense, like obviously we're talking about the Champions League, but you know, like Bilbao tonight, that's a game that like sometimes can be a banana skin, right?
Banana skin, exactly.
But if you're Arsenal now and you're trying to be the Arsenal you want to be, semi-finals of the Champions League last year, trying to win the league this year, these are the type of games now that you go and win.
Yeah. And this is the thing, though. I can just see in a high-stakes game, and when I say high-stakes game, I don't mean against the top 6, because our fans watching this will agree. Your problem ain't the top 6. Other than your loss against us the other day, you hadn't lost in, 22, 23 top 6 game. Yours will be the West Ham's at home, the Fulham's away where you drop points. I just feel when it's a must-win, I still think Arteta will do a mad tweak where everyone's like, "Why have you done that for?" And then it could be to their detriment. I just feel like we still have the know-how and we've got the manager to get us over the line. I do think Arsenal win a trophy, though. We spoke about this weeks ago. I do think they win a domestic. Whether that's enough.
Okay. What do you think then? So when you think, forget the FA Cup and Carabao Cup because they've won that before, and the Arsenal fans won't be like, "Yeah, I want to take that." I said that Arsenal potentially for me, we've agreed they had the best squad in the Premier League, which most likely means the best squad in Europe. People have said PSG in there. Who else did people say? Liverpool have a better squad. Too many deadbeats in Arsenal. I don't agree with that. But yeah, basically, someone says, "Oh, I think PSG are the only team that can compete with Arsenal." Right. So when we saying they've got the best squad in Europe, they've got to semis last year. The league they keep falling short in 3 years in a row. Do you think that they've got a better chance of winning the Champions League or the league based on the format as well? You've got to remember, knockouts is 2 legs. League, 38 games. That is it. When you lose a game, you've lost it. It's on your record. When you lose a Champions League game, you've got time to recover. You get another opportunity. You get 2 legs in the knockouts. Like, do you think the Champions League format's better for them?
I think they're more equipped. I think they're more equipped to win the Champions League. But then the caveat is, how can I know there's a first time for everything, and I think in the last 25 years, there's only been 2 teams that have won the Champions League for the first time, and that is Chelsea, both from England. That's Chelsea and Man City. The last 25 years, it's normally teams that have won it in the 90s or 80s or not, yeah. But actually, Porto had already won one in the 80s.
Porto, yeah.
I was thinking that's their first, but I don't think it was. I think they had won. They already won one in the 80s. Yeah. So yeah, it's only City and Chelsea. But I know there's a first time for everything. But it's like I would actually say they're more quick to win the Champions League. So to answer your question, it's probably a chance. But then you might get the rebuttal. But how can you have them favourites in something they've never got over the line in? Where Prem,
and I understand it.
Do you know what I mean? Like Prem, they've not got over the line in recent history, but they have won it before. They got 3 of like. If you're going to go league titles, I think it's 12 or 13. But league like. As much as it's been over 20 years, it's in their club, it's in their DNA. Do you know what I mean? Champions League, it's not. But to answer your question, Ty, I still think over a 38-game season, we're going to pick them to the league. I still have us as favourites.
Fair.
But Champions League, and look, let's use Chelsea's 2021 team, for example.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say on paper that was the most aesthetically pleasing team, but you
100%.
had the Kante, Jorginho, that solid base. Who else did you have in there?
Mason Mount was on form then, to be fair.
Yeah, Mount was on form. Then you had the Rudiger, the Chilwells, the Reece. You had that solid back forward, you know what I mean? So it's Thiago Silva. And then you had Mendy, you had a blinder. That's campaign. I think they only conceded 4. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was 4 or 5 goals in the whole campaign, or it might have been in the knockouts. I can't remember.
This is true. This is very true as well. You do need a bit of luck.
You do need luck. Yeah. I just think Arsenal's team is now equipped for that. And I think with cup football, it's like league football's like Fergie had that saying, "The fence wins you titles," but I still feel like Champions League, I think that's more relevant for, because I think if you shut up shop and just get that 1-0 away win and whatnot, you're in good stead. Look what PSG did to Arsenal.
They are capable of doing it.
Exactly.
That defense is like so hard. Like, do you know when like obviously you play FPL. I do my FPL channel. Big up, guys. By the way, if you like FPL, subscribe to FPL Hive. A quick plug there. FPL Hive, HIVE. But in terms of like, when you say, it's a great point, Mom, because in the Champions League, sometimes you need to tough it out and grind it out. And when home and away, if you get that 1-0 and you can just take it back to Emirates, they're blessed.
Yeah.
But when I look at it, right, and I'm linking this to FPL, when me and my boy were chatting about the team this week, you got Gabriel, for example, if anyone's got Arsenal defenders, it's like, oh, should I start them because it's Man City at home? But they're the one team, right? It doesn't matter who they're playing. You can just start Arsenal defenders because you know that no matter who they're playing against, they can keep a clean sheet. And you know what? That's a mad feeling to be in. I can't. I had Ferdinand and Vidic. It wasn't like every game that I was like, yeah, we're gonna keep a clean sheet. This Arsenal defense, bro, they are so hard to break down. Even to the point that like Declan Rice and Zubimendi are also part of that.
That's one thing, Ty, I have to give Arteta credit for. Say what you want him not getting over the line, 5-6 years without a trophy. He has made them, for me, the toughest team to beat in world football. You just have to look at us the other day. It was a moment of brilliance from Sabozlai.
And before that, you didn't even have clear-cut chances.
Exactly. Before that free kick, you would have. That's probably a 0-0 game. Let
me ask you something. This is good. When was the last time you think you remember seeing Arsenal get fists up? Brother. It's mad, isn't it? Bro, they
Bro, I
don't.
couldn't tell you. I
I
couldn't
couldn't
tell
tell
you.
you. Wait, in the chat, let me know the last time like Arsenal got like just done. Like
So I
done.
think there's even a stat. They've not conceded 3 goals in a game in God knows how long.
Bro, they don't get when they lose, it's always 2-1, 1-0. Like
I'll tell you now, yeah. To bring FPL back in, like Ty said, make sure you're going over and subscribing to FPL Hype, him and Bainesy, yeah. But Ty, I told you I'm gonna max out my 5-3. It stops at 5-3 transfers. I had to go a week early. I've already done my 4 and I've chucked in a few Arsenal because they're not gonna, especially at Emirates, they're not really gonna concede like that.
Yeah,
They're not really gonna concede like that. But yeah, Ty, to answer your question, bro, I can't remember.
I can't tell you. Yeah, I can't even
I
think.
can't remember.
Like, do you think then, like tonight, big up guys as well? Smash up the like if you just enter in the chat as well. Big up people. Make sure you do check out the channel. I do a lot of content on all top 6 teams as well. When you look at this team to the game tonight, this should get the job done, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna go. If you want me to give a score prediction, I think a 3. I don't think they concede. I think 2-3-0 Arsenal.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
What would be like? Obviously, I'm a United fan. You're a Liverpool fan, but if you were looking at this from an Athletic Bilbao point of view, maybe a bit about their team or any individuals, but like, what gives you a bit of like? You delayed for half a second when I asked you that. What's your uncertainty? Where's your like? Oh, I'm not sure about this part.
Maybe the midfield. I know they're. You made a very good point early in the show. Like, Marino's accustomed to the country and whatnot. But I actually agree with Terrell. I know you didn't. Big up Terrell Gunner. I actually believe in Nweri because part of that new deal, Ty, was assurances that he gets more game time. Maybe not in the high magnitude games, and maybe because it's game week 1, Arteta probably just wants to get the 3 points right. But you saw how he came on and expressed himself against Forest. I know, albeit it was at the Emirates. Let him out, like let him off his leash in Bilbao because this is a Bilbao team with no Nico Williams, arguably their best player. I know Anaki's playing. Sanche has been in very good form. It was linked with a move away. I think it was linked to Spurs and Aston Villa in the summer. They got Sanche. They've got another midfielder. I forgot his name off the top of my head.
They've got Vesca playing, Juragiza and Robert Navarro, and then Alex Berenguer. Number 7.
And he's got the long name.
Berenguer. Yeah, Berenguer.
He's good. But the thing is with this
Athletic
Bilbao team, Arsenal smashed them in pre-season with a stronger team, arguably. Both teams had a stronger team. So I'm looking at, you're away from home. You know what? Away from home in Europe, people might watch this back and think you lot are underestimating them. Away from Europe against any team's tough. I get that. But I think this Arsenal team's that good. I think this is comfortable for them.
Yeah. And the way Arsenal play, because it's not as like, it's not PSG Barca football, because it's quite like robust. It's trademarked. You know what you're getting. You go to the gym, you do your bicep curls, and you leave. You know what I'm saying? You just know. It's a very much Arsenal just that routine. I don't know how that even come in my head. By the way, man said Arsenal just back.
You killed me.
But you know when you just like Arsenal don't play expansive football. They play to suit European football. They just stifle you. They're like that gritty team. They're a bit like a British team mixed with a bit of Italian.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they will just go to Italy and Spain tonight, and they'll probably just stifle Athletic Bilbao, get a set piece, do what they do. And if they go 1-0 up, they'll get the second later on. Like Martinelli might come on and just make it 2-0. Job done. But I expect Arsenal to win tonight. I'm in agreement with you. I'm thinking, Arsenal get the job done, and they start their European campaign off to a fly. And like we said, guys, in terms of squad, they probably do have the best squad in Europe, but there's a difference between having the best squad and, like Rom said, executing it in the big games, winning the games and getting it over the line, which you've never done so far. So, let's see what happens. What about Tottenham? Obviously, over to Tottenham. They're back in Europe. They beat us. No team. I don't think United or Spurs deserve to be in the Champions League, but we are. And, fair play to Spurs. They made it. They got Villarreal tonight. That is another game that I'm like,
that's a tricky game, man.
Nicolas Pepe. I've seen Gerard Moreno. They've got this young black guy up front as well. I can't remember his name, but Villarreal are doing all right this year.
Alex Baena's there, isn't it?
No, he's gone to Atletico Madrid.
Oh, sorry, he wasn't.
Yeah, but they've got Danny Parejo still. Like
they replaced him with the Kvaratskhelia guy.
Yeah,
I want to butcher
McCouchy.
his
He
name.
starts. Yeah, McCouchy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
they've
then they
got
got
him.
Gabriel Viega from Chelsea.
Yeah.
Do you know what, right? It could be I think first goal is crucial in this. I think if Spurs score first, they win. I think if Villarreal score first, they get a result. I'm not saying they win, but they don't lose. So they either draw or they could go on to win. But I look at Spurs tie, and the only game I didn't watch is the game they lost against Bournemouth. But I think most of their games have been on
And
TV.
I was there.
Oh yeah, you were there, innit?
Yeah.
Your boy, but Spurs, they beat up Burnley game week 1, obliterate City. That game could have even been more than 2-0. They lost against Burnley and then they beat up West Ham. You already know me. When Klopp left, um, Thomas Frank, along with ironically Amorim and Alonso, he was in my top 3 candidates, right? I love Thomas Frank. I think he's such a good coach, and I think there's even still some people that have question marks over him. I think he's really gonna prove people wrong at his tenure in Spurs, and I think he already has. I think that result against City, albeit you can say what you want about City, I think that result against City made, I think, people that weren't sure of him put a bit more respect on his name. But you see that Ange teams on the halfway line, you just knew, Spurs are conceding minimum 2 goals today. You knew Spurs are conceding. You can note they've only conceded 1 goal in 4 games now. And like Romero and Van der Ven, because they're not having to do that running back all the time, there should be less injuries for them.
Yeah, true. No, great point. Yeah.
Strong. Jed Spence can play either side. He's been amazing at the start of the season.
Yeah.
Porro, again, even looks defensively better. That back 4 is now set, and you've got Udogie to come off the bench. You've still got Archie Gray to come off the bench. The midfield with Sarr, Bergvall, and Paulina, there's good chemistry with them. And now you've got Kudus and Javi Simmons, 2 players that will get into most Prem teams.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Alongside of Colin Mawani could make his debut. You've got Richarlison coming into fold. They've now even kind of got depth. Vicario's playing out of his skin. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think Spurs will lose tonight. They might draw. Put it like this. This is a result where I wouldn't be surprised any outcome, but I don't think Spurs lose. I think they'll draw or win this game. If Villarreal's to win,
the fans will be proper up for it as well. To be fair.
Man. First game under Frank. Frank's first Champions League game.
Yeah, Frank even said himself in his interview, he said, I'm excited as the players. I'm going to walk out as a manager hearing that Champions League anthem. Do you know what I'm saying?
Which he's only probably seen on TV or if he's attended to games, that he's not actually been in control of the team playing in it. I just think, do you know what do you actually know what my what do you call it? You could call it hot take, but yeah, let's just say hot take. I already said I've got them to finish 5th, but I think they get one of the automatic places.
And what's that? Top 8 out of 20? How many teams? 24.
36. So bottom 9.
Oh, raw. Okay, raw. It's the top 8.
Yeah. So bottom 9 are out. Then the middle 9.
But you know what? I've heard their fixtures are quite kind, didn't they?
9th to 24. Yeah. They're quite kind as well, but 9th place to 24, they go into a playoff. I think Tottenham get automatic.
Okay, I remember you said that. Let's have a look at it quickly. So Villarreal at home, Bodo Glimt away, Monaco away, Copenhagen at home, PSG away, and then they've got Slavia Prague at home, and then there's a break, and then they've got Dortmund at home, Frankfurt away. And that's it. Do you know what? Quite a few of them are winnable.
Yeah. Do you know what, Ty, though? You know, now thing with Atleti, speak about Atleti, yeah? They've just lost to the team that drives me and you mad for other reasons. But Villarreal just went to Atleti and lost. And the Atleti team that's been poor hadn't had a win this season yet. So maybe they're chinking the armor. And I think Spurs, you know what? I think Spurs will actually get the job done. But it'll be like a 1-goal margin, a 1-0 or 2-1. They're not going to beat them. Yeah, it's not going to be a battering. But I just think Spurs, along with their atmosphere, Xavi Simmons, Kudus, like they're adding quality. They've got that stability.
Because Xavi Simmons is technically, he's got that European experience from Leipzig. And sometimes this is where it does count. I'm not the biggest Xavi Simmons fan, by the way. I think he's overrated. But when it comes to like games in the Champions League, that is where when you sign these European players that have played in it, they've got that extra little bit of guile. Do you know what I'm saying?
You could even say Kudus to an extent. I don't know how many appearances he had, but I think Kudus played Champions League football at Ajax as well. But he was more of an impact sub. He wasn't like one of the main guys. But You know what? I think that midfield three. A lot of people speak about Tottenham's attack, but I think that midfield three of Bergwall,
Bergvall,
Sarr, and
Saar,
Paulina, and
Bentancur.
even Bentancur before he got injured, they've
Yeah.
got a really
He's
good.
back tonight. He's back tonight.
Exactly. Because he was suspended, wasn't he? Or did he
Yeah,
have
yeah,
a
he's
little
back.
knock?
I don't know what it
They've
is, but he's back. I know he's back.
They've got, and look, they've even got Kulusevski and Madison to come back into this. I know they're out for a while. And Solanke, they've actually got a squad now, you know. When you deep it, they've got a squad. So that, and even their centre back pairing, Danso, Archie Gray could do, I know he's traditionally more of a DM, but he could play centre back. Danso off the bench. Do you get their fullbacks? I think they've got two of the best fullback pairings either side in the league. So Kinski and Vicaria, I just think Spurs are going to have a very good season. I think me and you have both said this.
I
But
think they might
Spurs,
win tonight now, you know. I think
same.
you've come. I looked at the predicted lineups just now as you're chatting away, and I'm like, they've got one fourth at the back who used to be at Spurs, for example. They've got Papi Gay, who's a good player. I think he plays for Senegal. But other than that, Jose Perez up front with Mkhitaryan. I think they can score.
That's actually tricky for them.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2-1 Spurs. I think 2-1 Spurs.
Both teams to score, but
yeah, but it's one of them ones. It's one of them ones.
Yeah. Yeah,
definitely 100%.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what could change it? It's one of them games I can imagine one team getting a red card.
Yeah.
It's proper if that happens now. Oh my god! But yeah, it's one of them that they could get a red card. But yeah, it's going to be so interesting, guys. Make sure you smash a like and subscribe. We've done 31 minutes already. I can't believe it's 5:15 already. Champions League kicks off in 30 minutes already, as in Arsenal are taking on Athletic Bilbao. And I think there's another early game as well. I believe it's PSV versus Union St. Galice. So, guys, make sure you do smash a like, subscribe. Check out Big Six Bants. Check out Football Verbal, where Roms is a lot. Also, check out our other channel. We've got Never a Foul, which is our group channel on the way to 50K. So please make sure you do that. And then my FPL channel, which is FPL Hive. I've put that here as well. So subscribe to Never a Foul and FPL Hive as well, people. But yeah, now, Roms, this is where we can just free spirit it, really. I want to talk about Bayern Munich, Chelsea. I think while we're doing the British clubs, I know it's tomorrow. But yeah, Bayern Munich, Chelsea. You said that's your most intriguing game of the match week. Why?
Because Bayern Munich going forward, again, I've not watched them this season. So maybe my opinions off the back end of last season from what I saw of them. But I've seen they've been 6-0, 5-0. They've been battering teams. Going forward, I think Chelsea with Tosin and Chalobah, Elise, Luis Diaz, Gnabry, Harry Kane, they're licking their lips. I think Bayern score minimum 2 goals against this Chelsea battle. I know Cucurella and James will come back in. I think wide areas, they're all right. But centrally, set pieces and whatnot.
So was it Kane versus Chalobah and Tosin? Because Fofana ain't starting 2 games in a row.
Exactly. And then Cucurella and James will come back into the team. But I don't rate, I think Kim and Jay, that signing since coming back from Napoli hasn't been all that. I think Upamecano I've never rated, but what I would say is sometimes he does rise to the occasion, but I still don't really rate him too tough. I think Palmer coming back into the fold I think Esteval should start tonight, but Palmer coming back into the fold with a João Pedro and that. Caicedo, Enzo. I do think they can cause this Bayern team problems. And I feel like history has a part to play. Historically, they do well their first Champions League was in their backyard. Do you know what I mean? I know both teams had different personnel, but I just see Chelsea as my opinion of Chelsea from the start of the season, and their fans always get a bit offended by this. Because Ty, this is going to shock you. Jaws going to drop, eyes are going to bulge. Because I think I've told you they're my favourites to win the Champions League. They're genuine.
Chelsea,
yeah, gone mad. They're my favourites to win the Champions League. Everyone thinks I'm mad, but they're actually my favourites to win the Champions League.
Why?
Because I just think in the Prem, I don't rate them as much as other people. Some people speak about them challenging and that. I've not seen that consistency. I've got them 4th. But I just think they're a very good cup team. And you see that PSG performance here, it's not how they beat them, it's the manner in which they beat them. And I just think Chelsea on their day, cup football, they're just a nuisance for everyone. And I think if the knockout stages are kind to them and they get second leg at the bridge, I genuinely believe they can win the Champions League. I've actually got them as my favourites. Yes, on paper, they're not the best. There's probably about 5-6 teams better than them. But me and you both know, we watch football long enough. You don't have to be good to win the Champions League. You look at our team in 2005, we probably weren't even in the top
their,
10.
their team, you mentioned it earlier, the team that won it with Rudiger, Mount, Ben Chilwell, they
They
weren't the
probably
best
weren't
team
even
in
top
Europe.
5 on
But
paper. So do
yeah,
you know what I mean? I just think if they can keep players fit, I think they're a really annoying team to come up against. But I could see this
and do
being a
you also
draw.
think it's the? Do you think it'll be a draw tomorrow?
I think I can see Bayern, and people think Bayern are just going to obliterate
Oh,
them.
both teams are going to score. That's one thing guaranteed.
Yeah, both teams will
Yeah,
score. But
it could be a 2-2. I think it could be a 2-2.
yeah, I don't think Chelsea have enough to put it like this. If I was a betting man, double chance of Bayern, where I think
Yeah.
Bayern could win, or Chelsea's best result. But they would take that game week 1
Yeah, I
away
was
at
gonna say
one of the best teams.
game week 1. And
They'll
do
take
you
the
think
point.
it helps them, right? The fact that, because that's a big statement. You know, Chelsea are your favourites to win the Champions League. You've got your PSGs, your Real Madrids, your Liverpools, your Arsenals, your Man Cities, your
Yeah.
Napolis, even to go under the radar, whatever it is, right? Atletico Madrid can grind it out in Europe. When you look at this Chelsea team, the fact that they're not going to compete for the league title in terms of, then people said dark horses after they won the Club
I
World
know where
Cup.
you're going with this.
The truth is, top 4, that's their real aim. So they can just probably nip and tuck and get into the top 4 and say, right, cool,
And
you know
then
what? Next year,
concentrate on, yeah.
and then concentrate on Europe. Do you think having that non-added pressure to say, right, you don't need to win the league and you're not expected to win the Champions League, just get top 4, and then next year we go to try and challenge for the title while we're bedding in Yao Pedro and these other signings. But then we haven't got the pressure to win the Champions League, like an Mbappe at Real Madrid, like PSG defending it, like Jurgen, like Arne Slot, or Mikel Arteta.
Mm.
Do you think having not as much pressure at Chelsea will actually help them in reasons why they can go far?
100%, because I think they're gonna secure top 4 with, for me, 6 or 7 games to go. I think I believe Arsenal and Liverpool are. I've changed my prediction now, because remember I said earlier I don't have Arsenal second. I do. Like I've seen enough of this City team where it'll be Arsenal and Liverpool. But I think Chelsea could pip City. I don't think they will. I think they finish 4, but they can pip City till 3rd. But I think Chelsea will finish in the Champions League spots with games to spare. But I also think even if they've not officially cemented it, they'll project themselves to probably get it. And I was like, let's put all our eggs in the Champions League basket. And I think they'll just go under the radar where everyone, let's be honest, for me, there's 4 teams people have. I think if you ask a lot of people, these are the 4 teams people have favourites for this Champions League. Even though they've not won it, Arsenal, Liverpool, PSG, and Barca. I think they're the 4 on top of most people's head. You've got obviously teams outside of that, your Bayerns, do you know what I mean?
Your Real Madrid,
Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going mad. Add Real Madrid.
I was about to say that.
M5.
Okay,
I'll say Real Madrid, Arsenal, Liverpool, PSG, Barca. They're the top 5. But I think that's to Chelsea's advantage, because it's also the luck of the draw. But I think that's the Chelsea advantage, because everyone's expecting them to win it. Chelsea just go under the radar. You never know. Look, they're saying Colwell's out the rest of the season. You know, sometimes rehab can go.
They're back end of March and that.
Yeah, and he's back before expected, because that's a big blow for them. Though I'll be real. I feel like in January they will sign a centre back. Maybe even if they try and go back in for Mark Gahey, or I've seen Inacio links today again for Sport in Lisbon. I feel like they'll go, because this is what I will say. If they have Chalobah and look, Fofana, you don't know how long he's going to stay fit for, because Fofana and Colwell are their strongest centre back pairing.
Yeah.
But if they do have Chalobah and Tosin going into the knockout phase, then maybe I might have to take back that statement.
Yeah.
I think they can do it, Ty. I genuinely have them as my favourites. I just feel like both times they've won it, they didn't have the best top 3-4 teams in Europe.
Yeah, they didn't.
They have that know-how. One thing about Chelsea, they have that know-how, and they've got Reece James that has won it. Who else was in that squad that won it? I think it was only James. Maybe someone else.
Yeah, it might be only James left, to be fair.
Yeah, I think it's only James left from that Champions League winning squad. But again, he's captain though, so that's still, if there's one person who wanted to have won it, it's James. Do you get it? He has that know-how. But
was Chalobah there?
I think he was on loan, or he might have been there.
Might have been, you know.
He might have been there actually. He might have been.
But I do hear you in terms of like going under the radar. But I think the centre back is, they could potentially be an issue. I think Chelsea get to the quarterfinals, and I just think they will lose a thrilling like quarterfinal to a team like Barca or someone like that. But it'll be like a 4-3 on aggregate. Like it's a very entertaining game. But I think they fall short. I just feel like teams now, like at the moment, the way football's heading, I feel like Chelsea are just below that echelon at the moment. I feel like with the teams you named, like the Arsenal, Liverpool's, PSG, Barca's, I'm not saying they're separating themselves, but I feel like there's a slight gap now. And I know, look,
Yeah.
Chelsea won the Club World Cup, but, Barcelona weren't there. There's certain teams that might not have been there and stuff like that. But I feel like, Arsenal, Liverpool, the top two in the Prem. I think that's clear. It feels a bit like tennis in the Prem. Alcaraz and Sinner, Arsenal, Liverpool.
And then there's the gap. Yeah.
Djokovic and Man City, they were on top, but now they're on a little bit of the thing, but
Exactly.
they're hanging in there. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's literally Alcaraz, Sinner, and then like Djokovic, you were Man City, you was on top dominating, but now, yeah. And then Chelsea are obviously just trying to do.
Chelsea are like the Taylor Fritz or the Ben.
Yeah,
the Ben
do you know
Sheltons
what I'm saying?
Yeah, actually, maybe that's a bit.
They're better, but I hear you.
They've won a stat, like they've not won a stat. Chelsea have won stuff like that.
They're like the Stanislas Rowinka.
Yeah, that's done it. You know what I mean?
All right, people don't watch tennis. Just you. Sorry,
you don't really get that if you don't watch tennis.
Get it.
This is why it's called Thai sports, because Thai watches sports. It's not just football, bro.
But like that, and Wawrinka could have a run in the Champions League.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and they could. So I hear you, but to say they're favourites, that's very interesting, because if I had to pick a favourite, Barcelona's defense is just the same.
That high line, teams are gonna
issue.
What was the game I watched of Barca's? It was a couple of weeks ago, but it's because the quality of opposition they face, they can get away with it. That high line, unless Hansi Flick is adaptable and doesn't play it, which if you go off last season, he still was. Inter were cutting through that with ease. And Chelsea, you could argue are better. I don't really rate Inter's attack like that. Marcus Thuram, competent, but I don't rate him how people do. Martinez, I've always said, I think when the lights shine bright, he doesn't always.
For me, he's a two-man striker. He has to play alongside someone. Exactly. When he leaves the line by himself, not the guy.
I rate their midfield the most, and their defense, like Kalanoglu and Barella, but their actual attacking options, I think Chelsea actually trumped them. So I think when the Barca's go to the bridge, I think the Estevals, the Palmers, the João Pedros, they can have fun against them.
They might struggle, Chelsea, more against the robust teams that sit back a bit more. They're better against teams that are going to open up, and it is going to be so interesting to see, guys. Make sure you're liking this video, by the way. Make sure you're subscribing, people. Check out Never a Foul as well.
I've seen you just said in the title, Bellingham to return. I thought he was out till November or something.
No, so he returned to training last week, so he's potentially going to feature tonight. He's going to come off the bench, hopefully for his sake and for Real Madrid, because they might need him, they might not need him. It's Marseille. Look, that's going to be a very entertaining game, by the way. Marseille are going to come express themselves. They're going to play open, expansive football. De Zerbi doesn't change for no one. I think that's going to suit Real Madrid with Vinicius, Mbappe, them players in transition. I see Real Madrid winning in a high-scoring game tonight, maybe a 4-2, 3-1. I think Real Madrid get the job done, but
Marseille will score because they got enough quality. Greenwood, Aubameyang,
they've got quality to score. But this is not about Real Madrid, in the group stages. We all know Real Madrid will get through the group stages. No matter what, last year they needed to win their last two games. They get it done. But with Mbappe not winning the Champions League yet, Xabi Alonso coming into this team, do you think Real Madrid are kind of going on this? Right, it's Real Madrid. I know how big they are, Roms. They're the biggest club in the world. But in terms of people talking about them to win the Champions League, it's kind of going under the radar a bit. Do you think it's too early for Xabi Alonso to come in and win it? Or with this Mascherano and Arda Güler, they can go under the radar and maybe go far?
I mean, I'm a prime example of that. Look, when I named 4 teams, I left out Madrid. I actually forgot about Madrid, which how dare I do that? Do you know what I mean? But I don't think they win it this year. I think can they? Of course, they got a manager that's won it multiple times. Vinny's won it multiple times. Rodrigo multiple times. Trent's won it. I know it's not with them, but he's won it at us, and he's been to multiple final. He's been to 3. Yeah. I lost against the actual team twice. Bellingham's won it. They've Carvajal won it the most in history. They've got players that have got over the line, but I just feel sometimes your luck will run out. You could argue last season it did, obviously with Arsenal knocking them out, and I just think it'll be the same. They'll get to a quarters / semis, and then I think they'll get knocked out. That's not me writing them off. Yeah. I just feel sometimes you won it 3 years in a row, then you win it the other day. Then you won it. You took a year when City won it. Then you win it again. It's time for. I just think football gods will say, you know what, Real Madrid, rest now. You've got the most. It's someone else.
I hear it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think they're a team that you don't want to play them, but they won't win it. So I think like if you're Arsenal or something, you avoid them and that you're like, cool, even though Arsenal beat them anyway. But like Chelsea, like you don't want to play Real Madrid because the aura is still naturally there. Like you're still, I've got to go to the Bernabeu. People will question you. But I do think they'll fall short. And I think Bellingham returning for them will be quite big. I don't think they've been great, you know, that they're not that type of team that like they're convincing. They just seem to get the job done. And I think they've actually missed someone like Bellingham a bit. I know Arda Güler has been playing in there, but I feel like Bellingham is not the most aesthetically pleasing footballer for me. But I think having him back because of his mentality and his ability to just pop up, bro, took the words out of my mouth. He just pops up with the goals.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I know that like Dele Alli again, he's not my favorite footballer aesthetically, but I remember when he was at that Tottenham team and that England team, even when he was playing, they just know how to pop up with goals. Dele Alli done it against Sweden in the World Cup or Euros, whatever it was. Bellingham against Slovakia or Slovenia when we needed it. Serbia or whatever it was, and he was like, they just pop up with goals. And I think for Real Madrid, why they're adjusting to the Xabi Alonso formation and they're not playing the greatest football. Mbappe's okay at the moment. Vinicius is a bit in and out of form. People are saying he could leave. Rodrigo on the bench sometimes. You know, I think Bellingham will be important for them when it comes to getting them big goals in the big games. And it is going to be interesting. In terms of like other games, obviously, there's Juventus Dortmund, there's Inter, Ajax. If I had to give you either a game to talk about or a team that you want to talk about in the Champions League, who would yours be, Rons?
For me, the Napoli City game, so interesting because I'm going to tell you now, Ty, I think that's a draw. I think Conte has enough experience to not... He can win there, but I think he'll do enough just to stifle the stadium. I think they get the first goal. It's one of them games City have to keep chasing. I can see it. I'll actually give you my prediction. I think that's a 2-2 game where Napoli take the lead, then City punch back and get 1-1. Then Napoli take the lead again. You know when you always feel like you're just climbing up, fighting it up. What's the saying? Uphill battle?
Yeah, uphill battle. Yeah.
I just feel like that will be the case for City, but City will do enough to get a point. I think points are shared here. Conte coming back to England. He just has that point to prove. Højlund getting his first goal. But Tomine,
you know what? So typical.
KDB's return. Napoli have gone 3 out of 3 in the league. Their tails are up. Confidence there. Yeah. Look, I know City won the Manchester
Derby. Oh shit, De Bruyne coming back.
Exactly. Yeah. I know City won the Manchester Derby. You would admit as a United fan, your pants at the moment. Like I know it's a derby and you need to win it, but can you really measure City being backed by that performance?
Yeah. You know what? I'll be real with you. Like I don't want to talk about the derby too much, but I think did you watch it?
Yeah.
First 15 minutes of the first half, we were very good. We just didn't have the final pass, the killer execution. Second half, their fans are whistling. They didn't touch the ball until they scored. If that was an Arsenal, if that was a Liverpool, if that was a Chelsea at that game, they beat City. I don't think City are good. I'll be honest, Haaland done his thing cool, but City were not good, man.
And do you know another thing, Ty, as well? Like with my mind's gone. Yeah, that's it. I nearly lost my train of thought. You're gonna laugh and you're gonna agree. City are that team out of the big European teams where you see Arsenal at the Emirates, Liverpool at Anfield, Madrid at Bernabeu, even Inter at San Siro, Barca at the Camp Nou. You kind of know it's a guaranteed 3 points. City always have that weird result. Leon at home a couple seasons ago where they look shaky. Or like, who was it the other day? Leipzig. I know they battered them 1 year 6-0, but I swear Openda one season was causing them trouble. They lost to Leon 1 year. They even last format, didn't they lose a few of their home games or draw a few of their home games?
I think Club Brugge even caused them problems.
This is what I mean, man. And I think for them to even make the playoff thing, they had to beat Club Brugge the last game week. Club Brugge went ahead. And I think Napoli will take advantage of that. If we're being honest, I know City have won it and Napoli haven't, but Napoli have had, I think, more seasons. Correct me if I'm wrong in the Champions League with the Cavani's.
Napoli seem to always struggle in the Champions League for some reason.
True.
That's the only thing. Like Conte second season, was it Conte still there? Yeah, Conte and Napoli in the Champions League. They had that good little run when Chelsea come back and beat them, Ivanovic in that. But I always feel like Napoli should do better in the Champions League, but they just don't. And that's my only reservation. I want them to go there and get a result, and I think they can cause them trouble. But they just mentally, they're not.
Have they ever even made last four? I know they've made quarters.
I think the quarters is the furthest they've ever gone. Yeah. They just seem to have a mental block.
But I think they're catching City. I know City have confidence from the United game, but Napoli aren't Man United. And they're going to know when to shut up shop. City have found it hard to break teams down like your Brightons and Spurs as it is. So This has got a 2-2 written all over it for me.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm gonna go with 2-1 City, but a Napoli win wouldn't surprise me because I feel like it's like this. Yeah, you'll get it. If that was a knockout game tomorrow, City win because it's group stages. I can see why they might just.
They might take
Oh,
their foot off the gas.
we've
Oh, we
still
got
got
7
Premier League.
games left.
We got
Yeah.
Arsenal. We got Arsenal on the weekend. Like if we didn't win, it's not
And
the
do you
end
know
of the
what
world.
about that game quickly, that Arsenal game? I think Arsenal win. Us against Everton, it'll be tricky, but we should get the job done. But now you're looking at it like, look, as much as we think, a lot of people saying it's Arsenal and Liverpool's top 2, which I agree. City still have that pride that don't count us out just yet. But if they lose that, the gap's then 9 points. Arsenal and Liverpool really losing 3 games. We barely lose as it is. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Arsenal don't really lose that. They might draw, but they don't. I think in one of the seasons of the last 3 seasons, they only lost once or twice in one of the seasons. They hardly lost. So I can't see Arsenal Liverpool. I actually think you might see an Arsenal Liverpool tower race similar to the Liverpool and City one, where it goes down to the wire.
I think it goes to the wire.
A point or two's in it, because I just think us two are clear of the rest. But I actually think Pep might actually have one eye on that game, because you're not really going to want to get. They lost 5. Was it 5-1 there last year? They lost 5-0 actually. Was it 5-1 or 5-0? I know they got hammered, but yeah, let's just say they put 5 past them, and Lewis Skelly's doing the you know what I mean? Like, I think Pep would want a bit more pride this year. So I think he has one eye on that game. I don't know who Napoli have this weekend, but
Napoli have got Pisa at home. Pisa at home.
Exactly. Like, they're going to put all their eggs in to this basket. But one game before we wrap up, I want to speak about is Liverpool Atletico, because I'm going to the game obviously, but I normally back us at Anfield and whatnot, but I don't know, man. That Burnley game worried me. It worried me. And as much as we're at home and we normally get the job done at Anfield, this either will be 1-0 or 1-1. I don't
see you scoring a lot, and I see them coming to frustrate.
Yeah.
Atletico are not coming there to play football, really. Like, I'll be honest with you, they play the old school 4-4-2. Griezmann and probably Sorloth up front because Alvarez is out.
No Alvarez, yeah.
But I think this Atletico team are not great. I think it's a good time for Liverpool, funny enough, to get a bit of real confidence. I feel like you're winning games. We saw it against Burnley on the weekend. Obviously, you won. We saw the game against Arsenal. You found a way to win. Bournemouth found a way to win. The game after that, Newcastle found a way to win. You haven't set alight anyone yet. You haven't scored a few goals, have been confident. But this mentality of like you winning while you're not being good is dangerous, because I said once Liverpool click, they're going to be even better. Once Isak finds form, we're going to be better. But I feel like with this Atletico team, because I don't feel like they can beat you, if I'm honest with you, I feel like this is a bit more of a weaker Atletico now. I think this might be a game where Liverpool can say, right, let's play attacking, get an early goal, and you might just beat them 2 or 3-0. And it's like, right, that is the confidence boost we needed just to get some goals. Salah's not firing yet, Gakpo's hot and cold. Ekitike's had a good start, cool, fair play to him. Florian Wirtz, he's not had it. He's not, I've said overrated anyway, but he's not there yet. Do you know what I'm saying? This might be the perfect time where it's like, okay, Atletico are more going to sit back. Let's just try and get the goals. Anfield, Champions League night. I just feel you're waiting for that one big performance just to say, right, your season's turned on. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean. And I don't think it comes tomorrow night, though. I think they frustrate. Look, we struggled to break down a Burnley side. Atletico are miles better than Burnley. Again, I'm hoping that Anfield voice, it will be raucous. European nights at Anfield, you know what we make them like, but it'll be either one of these scores, 1-1 or 1-0. I don't think they'll be to us. I don't think they win. One thing I will say is I don't think they win. I don't think they win
either. But yeah, man. Let's see what happens, people. Guys, make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe if it's your first time watching. Big up. Make sure you do come back next Tuesday as well. Me and Roms will be here after my show with Saeed as well. This is going to redirect to Saeed. I'm on my way to 5K. Roms can be found on Football Verbal, Big Six Bants as well, and obviously myself. FPL Hive, if you're into FPL, please subscribe to FPL Hive. Never a Foul as well, our generic channel on the way to 50K. And then obviously here, my way to 5K. I do a lot of football video content, not a lot of lives. This is the only live I do. So if you want to be back here next Tuesday, you'll find us. Good balanced football talk. I hope you've enjoyed it. And yeah, guys, love in the chat. Make sure you like the stream as well. It helps me reach a new audience. I really do appreciate that. You know, it's a big community here. Big up everyone in the comments as well. And Dipesh says, yeah, plays 10 minutes max anymore, and I'll be fuming. He's already coming back 6 weeks ahead of schedule. Yeah, that's raw. That's mental.
That's what I'm saying. He was supposed to come back at start of November or something.
Okay. Yeah, that's mad. But yeah, guys, big up. This is going to redirect to Saeed TV. Just say, yeah, you come from Thai Sports. And yeah, just say Thai Sports, Thai Sports, Thai Sports. And I love all you lot. Big up.